Take heat. Fuck these niggas up.
Yeah, I'm with whatever you with. See, I'm from the town and we run the city. We be as real as it get.
Hey, yo, what do you know? And look, we're back with another one. It's your boy, C.Beezy. And you're back in the channel, in the place to be. Still kind of come up with a name for our little home base. Or, you know what? That don't sound too bad right there. Back at the home base. Actually, nah, because that's military, and I'm not military, so I don't feel right using it. But anyways, back with another video. Look, we are back with my boy Charles and his reactions, and today it looks like we got an interesting one. So let's tune in.
Vacation he did not tell me about.
And here we go.
Come to find out, his ex-lover was in attendance. Question is, should I trust him?
What? Foundational question.
Yes.
You sure that's your man? And if that is your man, are you sure you're his girl? Because oftentimes there are men, single men that you're in a relationship with him. That don't mean he's in a relationship with you. So before you become exclusive to a man, you better make sure that man is exclusive to you.
All I'm gonna say is he's here, so I hope he's listening.
What's your story? I want to know your side of the story. Get your mic.
A few moments later.
So what happened?
At that time in our relationship, we was going through some things.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna start off by saying that first week, her child's father was sick, and she went over there and took care of him.
Oh.
Lying ass bitch.
You leaving out value of
Didn't know.
Hold on. You made that some soup?
No. Lobster tail.
You know what lobster tail mean? Hey, legs get cracked open.
That's terrible.
Oh yeah.
How you gonna try out?
Oh, it was just a mistake. She literally getting her fucking... But literally
Right.
getting dug out. Raw.
You left that
Right.
I mean, ain't that the reason why they always say there's three sides to a story? Your side, their side, and then the truth. And that right there was no better example of exactly that.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
And then she was bold enough to actually get up there and call him out on it as if he wasn't gonna say his side and forgot, what she did to him. How convenient are you to leave out that part about you going over your baby daddy house and taking care of him? Probably, presumably, under the pretense of him not being okay with you doing that. So you went over there without his permission, you went over there without him being okay with it, and then you got mad when he did something you wasn't okay with. And yeah, is it a back and forth that you're probably more likely to see between, high school teenagers versus two adults? But we all know people like this where they don't understand their actions and how they're harming and affecting people until you do something similar or the same to them. That's
Oh, yes, absolutely. Like, we love to play this double standard card, this double role card that men are, and let's quite frankly, let's just be honest about it. Men are supposed to do X, Y, Z, while women are only subjected to A, B, C. But the moment that X, Y, Z is now having to take on A, B, C. Actually, I might have said that backwards. Actually, let me start over. When men are expected to do X, Y, Z and women are expected to do A, B, C, a lot of times things get misconstrued to where now men are doing X, Y, Z and then maybe B, while women are doing A, C. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't be mad and upset when somebody starts to give you the same type of energy that you have been giving them. Like, that's the whole big main point of it. Like, don't ever forget the things that you do and the role that you play in it, Because let's be honest, the role you played might have been a catalyst for why whatever else happened, or why whatever else things are being whatever it is. You know what I mean? So like, don't ignore the role that you play, because it's supposed to be a partnership. It's supposed to be a together thing. You know, you're supposed to be here with it, and you're supposed to be able to pick each other up and water each other's plants and garden and you know, and really bring in the best of the worst of whatever your partner has. So like, you know, your partner might be bad with being on time, so you're their personal like clock or whatever it may be. You know, it don't ever get it twisted that one side's supposed to take on all tasks or take on some of the other tasks, while the other side does nothing of compensation to a point that, you know what I mean?
That's when they get it, and they're like, "Oh, you hurt my feelings. Why you do that to me? That was so uncalled for. It was so unnecessary." You like, you do the same thing to me.
Yeah.
However you want to view it as being childish or uncalled for, whatever, could have been handled a better way, probably. That's up for you to decide. But the reality is, it looks like she did something to him and he wasn't okay with it. So he said, I'm going to show you how this feels to do something to somebody that they're not okay with and that they don't agree with. But, you know, she went ahead and did it anyway. And he went and did what he did anyway. And though respect goes both ways. And you can't disrespect people and not ultimately expect, eventually at least, that person isn't going to retaliate with disrespect in return. All right, real quick, merch store drops in June. Appreciate you guys who've been supporting the channel. I got the Back in My Day Women Were Feminine shirt on. Right now, you guys will be able to cop this as well as the others that's going to be available in the online store when it drops in June. So stay tuned. Appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Sorry, dude, should have waited like 10 years to get married. Now she about to drain your pockets. Let's see.
When I first met my husband, I was working my engineering job with my own place while he was sleeping on our mentor's couch with a roommate whose cat used to piss on all of his clothes. And guess what? I used to sleep on that couch that probably had 1,000 asses across it with him. And then when we dated the second time, he had his own studio apartment, but he was sleeping on the floor. And guess what? I slept on that floor with him. And then when he decided to quit his job to build out his credit repair business, I'm the one that financially supported us for 4 months and then put my dreams to the side for a year in order to help him build it. And it was the best investment I've ever made in my life. And before all the traumatized girlies coming here talking about it could never be them, let me put you on game real quick. Instead of looking for a man with money, I was looking for a man who was honest, dedicated, passionate, intense, purpose-driven, selfless, caring, with a big-ass heart and a big-ass dream. And in return, I got the happiest, healthiest marriage that I could ask for and the most perfect husband that I could have never fabricated in my mind. And I decided to stick beside him and support him in whatever he needed, because I knew, because of the man that he is, he was going to be successful in whatever he did. And because of my investment, now instead of spending all of his money, I get to spend all of our money. And yes, there's a difference.
It's true. Say, man, there is a difference. There is a difference between a woman who went through the mud with you, went through the tough times with you, helped support you in times where perhaps you didn't have it, but she had it. She didn't have it, but you had it. There's a difference between that type of woman and a woman who you meet once you became the man who you are and you made yourself into a financially successful man that now, you know, you become that vision of what women say they want in a man. It's like Bitcoin. You know, relationships are an investment. Just like when you think about the stock market or when you think about a business, you invest in that business, but you don't know how successful it's going to be. You're hoping for, you're projecting based on, you know, your research and your understanding of the industry. You hope that business does well. You hope those stocks do well, but you don't know. It could be you know, the market could crash. The same thing can happen with a relationship. You don't know if that relationship is going to pan out well. You don't know if that relationship is going to be a success. You're hoping based on your research, and your research is you getting to know that person and seeing them for who they are. But what we hear and see now, especially due to social media nowadays, is women having this fear of investing and building with a man. This fear of putting time and energy into a man without getting an instant return back. Without the understanding that sometimes you don't get that return until 10 years down the line like she did. Sometimes that return doesn't come automatically. But just like with a stock, just like with the business, if you understand some of the right clues, if you understand some of the right metrics and the things to look for in a man like you do a business or a stock, you give yourself a better chance. You give yourself a higher probability of that business doing well, of doing well with that man, and things end up working out. But when you have social media and a culture that is repetitiously pushing this message of a man is no good if he can't pay all your bills. If he want to go 50-50 with you, then he a roommate. He not a real man. And all this constant messaging telling women that a man is only good if he has a wallet where he gives you 100% access to it, and if he doesn't do that, then don't deal with him. Then you end up with a culture of women who end up fearing the very idea that the man who's probably right for them isn't going to be what they envision that man to be today. He's going to have to grow and build into that man. But if you're willing to go through that growth with him, because as a woman, she will also have growth that needs to take place, then yeah, that investment will end up being fruitful. And not just...
I mean, absolutely. Quite frankly, you know, if you don't mind me butting in, Charles, quite frankly, like, people don't, in this generation, and, you know, maybe even in my generation, like, people don't understand that there is a strong partnership that goes to in all of that, especially like what the girl was saying. At the time, it seemed like she was more so the breadwinner, so she was the one, you know, making most of the money. She was okay with helping do this, do that, had their own place, you know, but moved out. The other person was adding in too, and then she just kept continuously pouring back into her person and not really shying away and doing a whole lot and expected to be the main top. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to, if you want things to be able to be taken off your plate and to like help feed you and help you grow and mold, then you got to be willing to do the same for the opposition. So understanding that, okay, well, I don't have this, well, let me do this and this for them. And, you know, let me make it up in this aspect and do this, but not stay where I am completely just there, because it's something that I want us to build together. You're trying to build something together. It's like working on a sandcastle. You know, if one person just has the pail bucket, but the other person has the shovel, you now have to use both together to combine with that water to now make sure that this sandcastle can be built and be stacked tall to however tall you want the sandcastle to be. But if one person just has the pail and they're just digging with the pail with no shovel or nothing, and it's hard for them to get the sand into the pail, and then the other person with the shovel has a shovel, but they're like, I think I'm just going to use my shovel, and I'm just going to pick with my shovel, and I'm going to just pick up the dirt and just move it, you know, do whatever. But I'm not going to help out with building the sandcastle. Then what do you expect to happen? You know?
Financially, because money isn't everything.
But
also in other areas of life that are important when it comes to the maintaining of a relationship. Why do men want to date younger? Can't seem to find a guy my own age.
Because dating women, I'm going to say 35 and above, is more difficult. I'm in that category, and it does feel almost like a Sisyphean task.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Absolutely. There's several reasons. One is that we are less easy to impress. We're not impressed by that fancy restaurant, your car, that celebrity you met in Saint-Tropez once. We don't care, because we also have life experience. We've done things, we've seen things, we've been to places. We're impressed by the things that require effort and emotional intelligence.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care. I don't care, I don't care.
We're impressed by consistency. We're impressed by you remembering that little detail that we told you on the last date. We're impressed by you showing up as the same person every time we meet you. We're confident. We're more confident than someone in their early 20s, absolutely. And confidence, you'll notice, is incredibly inconvenient.
Yeah, no you're not. No you're not.
Because we're self-assured and we know our worth. So because of that, we require equal amounts of effort. We're not going to always come to you. We're not going to put up with you disappearing for a few days. We're not going to put up with you being inconsistent, cancelling plans last minute, because we know we could do better. So we just move on. And lastly, sex is a massive one. We know what a good orgasm feels like. We know that sex is about two people. We know about our bodies, and we require so much more sexually from a man than someone who's, say, 19, 20 does.
Let me translate what she just said right there. Now that I'm older, and I've been decimated, dismantled, and destroyed by the streets, still believe my value is higher when it comes to what I require from men. And she said all of that without just understanding that men like dating usually women who are somewhat younger than them because they're just gonna end up being less headache, generally speaking. This is why you'll find a 50-year-old guy who has no problem dating a 35-year-old woman. Because while 35 may be old to a, 35-year-old guy, to that 50-year-old guy, he's like, well, she's gonna have less baggage than the 50-year-old woman, so it works out. Or while the 40-year-old guy will go for the 30-year-old woman because she'll have less baggage than the 40-year-old. So everything ends up being relative to the age of the guy and what he perceives as younger. And ultimately, she can only be upset with the very people she's trying to defend, which is other women. Because women typically like dating men who are older than them. It may be 1 or 2 years, it may be 3 or 4, it may be 10. But typically speaking, women in general go for men that are older.
Jesus Christ, man, you just won't stop, man. No, I won't. I stand up for these kids, and I want these kids to know. I've been doing this 27 years. You don't think I stand up for him? Then what you doing for this kid right now? You stand up for him? What you doing for this kid right now? I don't even know what you doing for this kid right now. What you talking about? Exactly. Because I will view it exactly. Exactly. You don't have to. We dealing with it. What do you want to do? You can't do love. It's a mission for God. What do you mean? I've lived over 50 years. Don't even bring God into this, my friend.
That's what we're here for. Nah, this is God's work right here.
And that's why I'm standing up for him. What is you talking about? This is a God situation. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on. Big God. See exactly what I'm trying to do. Help me to pull out everything that's in my heart that you know that I'm going to do. Help me to understand what I'm trying to say. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
And guys, the man you just saw right there was a guy who goes by the name of King Kyle Lee off of his TikTok. That's what it says. And he's an artist, a husband, and a father. And he's been featured on local news because he decided to start an anti-bully group down in San Antonio, Texas. And with all this talk in the mainstream media about how men aren't needed, you got shows like The View that literally will bash men and say how unnecessary men are in today's society. The reality is, from the beginning of time, good and evil have existed. And it's always been good men who made the choice to stand up and protect those who can't protect themselves from those who would choose to do harm to them.
How old are you?
Me, 26, 25.
Are you single?
I'm single. They're not. I'm engaged. I'm married.
How long have you been married?
I've been married for 3 years.
And engaged you?
I've been engaged for like the last 7 months, but I've been with my mans for the last 7 years.
What made you commit to your fiance and your husband as opposed to just staying single and finding somebody else?
I feel like because somebody, number one, makes you feel safe and makes you feel like home, makes you want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I committed, because why be single and talk to all these guys when you have somebody who makes you feel safe and be like the person you can be, your best person with them.
But you never have crazy arguments with him?
Don't we all? Of course. Don't we all? But like, you find somebody who fights with you and fights for you, right? And fights, for you guys, for both of you.
For each other.
So why not?
I feel like me and my husband bring out the best in each other. And even in those moments you were talking about where I feel like we do fight, but like our fights in to make each other better, not to make each other worse. Bruh.
No. Because I wish I could have seen the whole clip of that. Like, really? You see they're filming and they're talking and you just go stand your big body. But I ain't even going to get started.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Dana. Nothing serious going on. This is my husband, Stud Muffin. Chocolate biscuit. It's his birthday. Can y'all please help me set it up for him? Happy birthday, Wayne. Happy birthday. On the count of 3, one big one. Happy birthday, Wayne. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Wayne.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Hey man, listen, I like to see that. A woman will be a cheerleader for her man, be proud to call her man her husband. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I like that.
All right, y'all. We got another loyalty test. Let's get straight to it. All right, so bro hit me and said, bro, are you still doing a loyalty test? I know you've been doing a soft guy everything. I need one bad. Every time I try to check her phone, she acts funny. I'll pay you for your time. I said, yeah, for sure. I got you. Here my Cash App, and he sent $195. He's not playing. He ain't playing no games. Let's get to it, though. He also said, I think she might fold, but I'm prepared for the worst. So I go over to her page. I like 2 or 3 pictures, and I followed her. She followed me right back ASAP. Like, it's probably like 5 minutes later.
Damn.
And she liked one of my pictures back as well. So that's red flag number 1. All right, so I kept the DM very simple because she showed love back already. She liked the picture and followed me back so she knows what time it is. So all I said was, what's up, love? She responds and says, hey. I go in and say, all right, let's cut the small talk.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is where I would have drew the line at, and maybe that's because I'm a nice guy, and that's probably how that saying goes. But I understand somebody showing love to like your page and like your content or whatever it is that you may do if you do content. Like I completely get that because with how I am, as y'all can see, I do content. So people liking my stuff and showing love and all of that doesn't really mean too much to me because it's just like, okay, they're showing love to my content and that they like what I'm putting out and they like what I'm doing. Now, where the issue comes is, and it's not even the issue with the follow either. Like, I don't have an issue with the whole follow thing because maybe you're building your own brand. Maybe you're trying to get everything together. You need the follows. You need those type of people in your corner or whatever. But when somebody messages you, especially if you're with somebody, responding is a red flag. Or as soon as you get that message, not coming to me and letting me know, like, hey, got messaged by this guy. We look at their profile and see that he's blown up. Whatever his like his profile stuff is, and he's messaging me and he's talking to me like this, and you responded to that, one flag. Oh no, what you got going on? I know you doing something grimy, because the fact that somebody's able to gather your attention like that to a point of where you respond, you clearly don't respect me in that sense, because you have somebody, you're with somebody. Why would you need to go fish out and find this other person and do all this? And you can't blame it in saying, oh, well, what about networking? What about to do this, that, and the third? Once you saw the type of timing they own, no, I just don't rock with that, because I mean, y'all can read the messages right there.
You single? Because I need that. She says, I might be, LOL, and need what? I respond and say, you. She says, okay, how old are you? Mind you, this is a fail in my book. I know I'm not going if I see my girl or somebody that I'm dealing with doing this.
Right.
She said, okay, how old are you? I say, I'm 22, you? She responds and says, I'm 24, you a whole baby. I respond and say, LMAO, girl, I turned 23 in 2 months. You better tighten up. She says, you look way older than 22. It's no way. You look super grown. I said, it's because I am. She says, you look like it for sure. I don't really talk to younger guys, to be honest, but I can make an exception. Bro, this is a fail, bro.
She folded.
So I go back to my own question and ask her, like, you never answer my question, though. LMAO, are you single? He responds and says, boy, I'm single. And I sent her a picture of my camera, and I say, I got you. I'm bringing the series back. You gotta know where to go to book one of these. Let's do it. All right, y'all. We got another.
The camera, though. the camera.
That's funny. That was a good one, though.
Man, listen, I don't know if I would ever do anything like that, because even if I have a questioning thought like that in my head, I'm going to just confront the issue. I ain't paying the $195, but listen,
Yeah.
He got the proof.
Yeah, nah. Tweaking paying the money to do that, because if there's ever a thought or a question on my mind, I'm just going to ask you. I'm going straight up just ask you, figure it out. And you going to lie to my face, you're going to lie to my face, but best believe I'm watching you, even when you feel like I'm not watching. Like, I see everything. I peep everything. That's one of my I always used to think it was a flaw of mine, but at the same time, maybe it's not really a flaw of mine. But I peep everything. I'm too aware. I feel like I'm somewhat socially aware, but I'm just too aware of everything around me and what's going on, just because that's just how my upbringing was. I was just always aware of everything. I just knew and paid attention to every small little detail, so then that way I'm prepared for anything. I ain't never wanted to be not prepared. I didn't want to be unprepared for anything. I always wanted to do that so that way I can protect myself. I felt like that was a way of protecting myself and others that I'm with, just to make sure that I know what's going on. Even like if I'm out, having fun, I'm still aware. I can, like that, I can snap back and be still aware, But anyways, look, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I hope you guys are liking the new type of content that we're kind of switching to, since everything else was having copyright stuff. And it was just hard. It was hard to try to find things and make the videos. I mean, literally one day I remade a video 5 times trying to upload it, and it wouldn't upload just because it kept saying I had copywritten stuff in it. So, hey, but look, it's your boy C.Beezy. I'm reminding you, be easy. And look, I'll catch y'all in the next video. I'm out of here. Peace. Look, man. Well, I don't know. These videos be cool. Maybe I gotta find me a good little compilation on TikToks and stuff. So y'all, or maybe we might do like a segment where we just scroll through my TikTok and see what's on my TikTok page. You know?
Take heat. Fuck these niggas up.
Yeah, I'm with whatever you with. See, I'm from the town and we run the city. We be as real as it get. These niggas be clowns over the hoes. That shit don't be making no sense. I just put some cues on my wrist.